In this video, I will explain how to raise your standards to live better quality of life. And if you don't know what your standards are or how high they should be, then please stay tuned. This video is also part of 7-day challenge sheet series. So at the end of the video, I will be giving you a personalized challenge sheet so you can start to execute towards your goals. Hey guys, this is Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. Our standards reflect who we are in every aspect of our lives. From our relationship to how we look, our finance, everything is controlled by our standards. Furthermore, these standards were most likely set subconsciously, influenced by environment, taught by our parents and teachers in schools. And most of the times these standards are lower than they could be, which means we're not reaching our full potential, and this is exactly why raising the standards are extremely important to live a successful life and reach our goals. So why you should raise your standards? The chances are that there are many things that you think you could do to improve your life, like losing some weight, for example, or getting extra hours of sleep, or maybe putting in an extra hour of work or study. Yet you never do that. This is because your standards are too low. And by raising your standards, you turn your shoulds into musts, which allows you to take control of your life and reach your full potential. So let's start with identifying the standards. First, we must identify our standards in order to improve them, and that is done with a simple self-analysis. How about your appearance? What standards do you hold towards your weight? And certain people have a certain standards towards their appearance. Models, for example, have very high and clear standard, and nothing above is acceptable. Same goes for the boxers who want to stay in a certain weight class to compete. The question is what standard you hold towards yourself. And if you're happy with how you look and how you perform, then that is fine. But if you're not, then you just identify the area where you should raise your standard. What about your room? Is it tidy and organized, or is it messy and full of chaos? The state of your environment directly reflects your standards for it. Is your standard to be tidy and organized person, or do you accept yourself as a messy and unorganized person? Because you are what your standards towards yourself are. I want to share 4 areas of your life where you can raise your standards. Number 1 is health. Have you ever said to yourself that you'll go to sleep on time, but you never do? Have you ever thought to yourself that you will start to eat healthier starting from tomorrow, but you never do? Then that's your standard for your health. If you actually want to improve your health, you have to commit to it right now. Number 2, finances. Do you have a savings for a rainy day? Are you following your spending regularly? If not, then you probably consider yourself as a person that is bad with the money. And that's exactly right there is your standard. Of course, if you don't want to leave it like that, then you will have to do some work on your standards towards your finances. Number 3 is relationships. Your relationship should bring you a joy and happiness. Meeting your friends should be fun and interesting, rather than enforced and for the sake of having the friends who always needs your hand, but when you need something, they're always busy. If you raise your standards here, you can have the friends that inspire you, and you look forward to meet them each time. Number 4, your attitude. Your attitude shapes your life. From the very moment you wake up to the moment we close our eyes to get some sleep. What we think we are is what we are, because our minds shape us into reality. And if you don't like what you are, then you have to raise your standards towards yourself. So how to raise your standards? By now you have probably identified some unacceptable or lower than expected standards that you hold. It might be spending money ineffectively, or eating unhealthy, or wasting time on unproductive activities like watching Netflix or just randomly browsing a web. There is a great method by Tony Robbins whereby you identify your existing standard and then you rewrite it with a new belief. It is a thought process that has to be accepted by yourself. We often wait until somebody is pointing the finger into our face, or we get embarrassed or disappointed with our low-hanging standards until we take notice of it and improve it. But it doesn't have to be like that. It can be a self-initiated process to improve ourselves. So here is an example. Your current belief might be that you're bad with money, so you should rewrite this belief. And you could say to yourself, I have full control over my finance. But this is only beginning. You must also act on this new belief. Follow your spendings each week to see where your money actually goes. And decide to give yourself a consideration period for any purchase above a certain price tag. Instead of spending your money, decide to transfer some of your money to your savings account. And that is how you do it. You identify the area of your life where you want to improve your standards, and then you rewrite your existing beliefs. Once you've done that, look into the actions that you can take immediately to raise your standard. Don't wait for tomorrow, because tomorrow will never come. It is always one day away. So do it immediately. And I've made it super simple for you if you want to take an action. I've prepared a challenge sheet so you can take the knowledge that you learned in this video and apply it into the real life actions over the following week. Just before we jump into this week's challenge, I wanted to share another example of standards from the real life. I remember when I was in the school, I was very good at sports. So what I was expecting was to have only excellent grades in sports. Any kind of sports, whether it was throwing or running or jumping, I was always expecting a high marks. And that's how I performed. Whereas other guys who weren't as fit, they were quite happy to get average marks. And they actually was very happy to get average marks because that's what their standards were. But if you have a look from different perspective, for example, in the math, I would be quite happy to get medium marks in math, same as they were happy to get medium marks in the sports. And those same guys who were medium in sports were getting or were setting their bar higher into the math, so they were performing much better in the math. I hope this helps to illustrate the point I'm trying to make, that the standards are set for each person on each different subject or each different topic. And all you have to do if you want to raise your standards is to make a conscious decision and put work and effort to achieve your higher standards. So finally, this week's challenge. So this week's challenge is to identify one of your standards for your health, finances, relationship, or any other aspect of your life that you deeply care about and raise the bar. Keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a significant change. You can improve over the time and raise your standards slowly, bit by bit. To get your challenge sheet, go to the description box below and download it from there. If you have already joined the program in any of the previous episodes, you don't have to do anything and your challenge sheet should be in your inbox right now. I will be doing a new episode, a new challenge sheet each week. So if you don't want to miss any upcoming episodes, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. This was me, Janis from Driven by Goal, helping you to achieve your goals. And I'll see you guys in another episode. Bye.